Carl Jung spent years talking to entities of his imagination, documenting that in books like The Red Book. He made that a visionary practice and had illuminating conversations with specters of his own imagination. But of course, he also believed that there was a collective element to those. In your investigations of multiple ayahuasca experiences across different people, are there any commonalities of entities that strike you as particularly significant? I know people talk about clown figures, for example, mechanical clowns in the DMT state. And
elf machines.
yeah, exactly, the elf machines. And of course, that's complicated too, because once one person starts talking about it, that might increase the probability that other people would experience it. But have you seen commonalities of entity experience that would suggest the existence of something that is at least transpersonal?
I have, and I think this exists in these shamanic traditions. And the ayahuasca is a particularly good example of that. I mean, I'm basically a Jungian, so I believe in the collective unconscious as this, it's a good model, this transpersonal realm of shared archetypes and all that. And then there's the individual unconscious. I haven't seen anything in the reports of the psychonauts that would not fit into that model. I think basically these entities, they are experienced as real, but they come from the collective unconscious. And if you look at the ayahuasca tradition, and there is an interesting book here that's very illustrative of this. You're familiar with the artist Pablo Amaringo, the visionary Peruvian artist. He painted his visions, right? He remembered all his visions in perfect detail. And he collaborated on a book called Ayahuasca Visions, the religious iconography of a Peruvian shaman. The book is remarkable because it's its typical coffee table style format with full color illustrations of the visions on one page and then Wardo's descriptions in English on the facing page, dissecting all the elements of the entities and everything else that you see in these visions. And there are about, I guess, 20 or so of these paintings in this book talking about vegetalismo, this practice, which is really an amalgam of many indigenous traditions and kind of mushed together into a mestizo tradition. He describes these entities, they all have names, they have a particular appearance, the plants, the animals, even there are UFOs, there are all kinds of things in these visions. Pablo describes every one of them, and any ayahuasquero in training, they're going to see these things. And what they see is going to be similar. It's sort of like Terence's self-transforming elf machines. I mean, Terence says that. He has a huge voice. Pretty soon everybody's seeing self-transforming elf machines.